and roll, Chicago.
Hey, it's Ray and Mike, and we got some great information for you.
Yeah, we just wanted to remind you about the fundraiser for the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, which is taking place on October 27th at the Renaissance Center in downtown Joliet.
You'll be able to get tickets at Cadillac Groove shows. If you see Mike or myself somewhere, we'll have tickets. You can get them at the museum. They're only $5.
Also at CadillacGroove.com, you will be able to purchase them online as well.
Very good.
They're going to cost you $5 a ticket. There's going to be a $10 cover charge to get in the day of the event. And for your $10, we will give you 2 more additional tickets as well as some Cadillac Groove swag. And the lucky grand prize winner will win the band Cadillac Groove.
And winner must be present to win. So remember that.
And Cadillac Groove will play for whatever event it is that you would like for us to play for. You know, conditions do apply.
That's true.
We do have
so
to
get
say
out
that.
there and get your tickets right away.
Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this here is a very happy Hollywood Mike.
I thought you were very happy. I saw you ride in on your steel horse.
Well, number one, that's the reason why. It's beautiful out and had to do it. Plus, you can't park out here.
No, it's easy to park that thing.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Yeah. There's no way I was putting the F-150 in a parking spot in here, so I had to bring the...
Exactly.
So I brought the bike. But, you know, I want to take a second. I'm going to do this. And, you know, we don't do this very often.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give credit where credit is due to somebody.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to, if you guys don't mind here, I'm going to talk real quick and talk about a real quick conversation that I had with somebody. You know, over the course of the past several weeks, I have been talking about my quest for a guitar amplifier.
Yes.
And I think everybody out there knows that I decided on a bad cat, right? Well, let me tell you something. I brought it to an open jam a couple of weeks ago, and somebody accidentally walked across the front of the amp and kicked the guitar cable while it was still in the input. It broke the plug off in it and everything. Broke the input and everything.
Wow.
You know, and so I called up Bad Cat and left a message for somebody and told them what had happened. You know, and it's under warranty. They said it covers accidents and stuff like that, right? So I finally get a call back from somebody, and I'm talking to this person on the phone. And he starts saying things like, okay, this isn't just a bench technician that, you know, fixes input jacks. Cause he's saying things like, you know, like, let me check with my quality control guy. And then he's saying things like, do me a favor, check the serial number on the transformer for me because we had a couple of bad ones and I want to make sure you didn't get a bad one and stuff like that.
Wow.
So finally I said to the guy, John, I said, what do you do at the company there? He goes, well, I'm the owner of the company.
Oh, wow.
There we go. That's customer service.
Wow.
And I spent, you know, like 30 minutes after we finished talking about the amp. He was asking me how I liked it and everything and telling him what I liked about it, something that I would change on it. He was, you know, very appreciative of the critique.
Nice.
I absolutely love the amp, right? Yeah. But we talked about it. And then we spent like 15 minutes just talking about music in the whole bit. And I just thought, how cool was it that, you know, this guy did not have to call me, you know, to help me fix an input jack on an amplifier. He by all rights could have sent that off to one of his technicians, and he didn't. I actually talked to the owner of
I'm getting a tingling. I'm getting a tingling. Are you going to tell me we got a sponsor?
No.
Oh, damn.
But I am telling you though that I have sent them some videos playing that amp, and one of my friends that hosts the jam with me also bought a Bad Cat amplifier because he liked mine so much.
Then I think you should call him back and get him to sponsor our podcast.
We're going to send him a copy of this podcast.
Okay.
So there you go.
I think we should.
That was a shameless plug, wasn't it?
No, yeah, definitely, most definitely. But that's quite all right.
But that was freaking awesome. That's awesome. That he did that. You know, there's somebody ringing the shit out of our door.
I know. How
about you get these guys going and
all right,
and I'll go see what's going on over there.
Yeah. Well, joining us tonight is a band called Cuttlass. What? Oh shit! There's a space between the L and the ass. I'm sorry. Cuttlass.
We used to cuddle ass.
We may cuddle more ass, but it's probably going to be from the retirement home, but you never know.
Right.
Well, you guys are professionals, so I'm not going to have to remind you to speak into the microphone.
Right. Yeah, you do.
So how you doing, guys?
We're good.
All righty. Why don't you introduce yourselves, tell everybody who we're talking to tonight.
I'm Scott Couch. I'm the drummer, one of the founding members of this band. And to my right here is...
Bobby Sinatra, the bass player.
And I'm Vic Vasquez, another founding member of the band.
Okay, all three of you are founding members?
Yes, sir.
Oh, awesome. So who's not with us tonight?
Tonight, not with us is Jeff Hundreiser and Eric Johnson.
Okay.
Jeff Hundreiser is a vocalist. Eric Johnson is a guitar player.
Okay.
And they're not with us tonight due to personal reasons, but they might chime in. We'll see what happens.
All righty. Are they original members also?
Jeff Hundreiser is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Very cool.
Sorry for the interruption, everybody.
Oh, that's quite all right.
But the Flatbed Fords, former guest of the show, are rehearsing in the rehearsal space tonight.
Yeah.
And they are slowly arriving.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
I guess their fearless leader is not here yet to let them in.
I guess. No, everything's now is down there. Everything's now out, out and hooked up and stuff. So
we might hear that doorbell ring a few more times.
I'm
but
sure.
Hopefully Jimmy comes up and answers.
So when you left, I made an error. I said it was Cuttlass.
Yeah, Cuttlass. I'm so excited about that.
On my notes here, there's a space between the L and the ass.
Oh.
So I was mistaken. It's Cuttlass.
Oh, I thought it was cut ass.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
No.
Okay, we're good.
That would be the flip side of rip ass.
Correct. Which would be after the show, after we stop for burritos, then we get rip ass.
That would be this guy right here.
So tell us about Cuttlass. No, tell us about Cuttlass then. Well, you guys started. You were introducing everybody in the band.
Okay, so the band was founded in 1986 by us three here, and writing original music. We were brought. A lot of our influences are classic rock, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Whitesnake, Rush, that we all come up with all that. And then as the 80s evolved, when we put this thing together, we moved on to Badlands, Lynch Mob, and Dokken, and Warrant, and Motley, and all those bands. So we did all that. And when we were coming up, as opposed to now where the scene is inundated with cover bands, when we were coming up, it was original bands. So when we were playing the Whale and the Circuit, if you were playing cover songs, unless you did like one in your version of it at the end of the night, you got ridiculed because you weren't writing your own music. So that's how we were groomed, and that's how we came up. Moving forward, in 1991, we won Circus Magazine's Best Unsigned Act of the states, the whole country. And
what year was that?
91.
91?
Mm-hmm. And that was off of a song called Everything Reminds Me of You that we submitted to them. And lo and behold, we get a call one day from a guy named Barry Waterman, who was managing us at the time, and said, he goes, sit down. I go, what do you mean sit down? He goes, you guys won. We did what? You won. It's like these guys were in printing. Jeff is in printing, and it just like, we won. Everybody stopped, and then that night we convened at Bobby's house, and then after that it was pedal to the metal. And
also, I'm sorry, if you remember, we were also put into Star Search.
Yes,
remember Star Search? Back in the day?
Yeah.
Ed McMahon.
With Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon Star Search.
We drove to New York and auditioned at SIR Studios, which was, in those days, it was crazy because we had to play the tape. So when I got there, the drum set was all dumbed up, just rubber. You hit it, you heard nothing. The guitars were not live. The only thing that was live was vocals.
Yeah,
and that's how you ran the audition.
And your singer's pretty much singing to karaoke.
Exactly.
Is what he's
exactly.
Wow.
That was the audition. We've been very fortunate in that we've played. In recent history, we just played the Whiskey in 2019, which was a bucket list item.
With Michael Schenker.
Right.
We've played the House of Blues probably 10 times, and we've been able to support or open for most of our influences. So
nice.
When I sit back in my chair and go, you really threw yourself at this. What have you done? And I look at, and then I combined with all the original music that we have, then still that we haven't even released, that's starting to come out now. I'm very proud of us. Very, very proud of us.
Well, you guys have been at this for a long time then. I mean, if you were talking about, in the 80s and stuff getting in it, has it always been the same members of the band?
It's always been us three and Jeff.
Okay.
And then the other guitar player that was on the No Explanation Necessary is Nick Cox. Nick Cox is in Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven, yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, he's actually recorded in the songs, and he has some co-writing credits and an amazing talent.
Right.
And then as you know, is when you in a band that long, you have ebb and flow, right? So you're busy, then you're not busy. Like we went through that whole coming up into the 80s, and then Nirvana broke, and we were like, now what the fuck do we do? Are you fucking kidding me? I got to listen to this guy tell me just to fall in love with doing less, and we're trying to do more.
Yeah.
So we've been through that whole thing, and we went through the whole grunge era, and we went through so much of that, and we're still here. And very pleasing to see now We just did a show with Seventh Heaven at Sundance Saloon 2 months ago, a month ago.
So, yeah, about
Yeah.
6 weeks.
And Nick was there to watch. He was to support us. And it was just like, we've managed to have somewhat of a following, and it's been really, really, we've done Man Cow several times. We've done Kevin Matthews. Jeff is friends with friends with Stephen Gary, and we got mentioned about when they were on the beach in one of their radio show. Yeah. So we've done some stuff. Yeah. And I'm pretty proud of it.
I mean,
actually.
over 30 years. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So take me back to that early area when you guys were in the 80s, right?
Uh-huh.
And what year was it that you guys formed?
We started 86.
86.
First shows were in 86. Jeff joined the band in 87.
Were you guys high school age? About how old were you guys?
No, we were all in our 20s.
You were, okay.
I was in the
early
early
30s.
21.
Okay.
I mean, I had to get this. I had to get the stamp on my hand when we would play a show, and then you got to leave immediately.
Right.
Yeah,
So I mean, you were barely out of high school. But you were still around that era there.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And then, and like you said, your influences that time and the whole bit. We come up into the grunge era, right? Did you guys find that you had to compromise your music a little bit to stay relevant?
You know what's crazy? If you take the time out of your day to either YouTube Cutlass or to go and scroll down our Facebook page, you can hear the evolution. You can hear the songs that were released in 87, 88, and 89. You can hear the song that won the Circus Magazine thing.
Right.
And then as we got into the 90s, if you go on the Facebook page right now, there's a song called Gift of Nature. We morphed. These guys went,
Okay.
guitar tones need to be fatter.
Yeah.
Right.
They would drop. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. Time to drop D.
And we started singing about more in-depth issues as opposed to girls and getting laid and having fun in cars and drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
We morphed right along with it.
Right.
And as far as, we have a lot of friends in this business. We have a lot of friends that were in original bands that we're still friends with. And I look at them as writing teams. And these two gentlemen right here, Hook and Groove, are their middle names. I think that might be me.
Yeah.
Hook and Groove they come up with some of the best runs and rhythms that I've ever heard. They're just timeless. It's like Ozzy said about Tony Iommi that he writes the best hooks. Mm-hmm. These guys write great hooks. Awesome. Really good shit.
Right.
So
I was going to add a lot of the grunge plus the lack of a scene, around in our surroundings. Like we were talking earlier before the show, like the Thirsty Whale closing down. I mean, there was an actual back then. There was a place to go and showcase your music.
Yeah. Be you.
Right.
And once places like the Avalon, Thirsty Whale, I can't
Gateway
remember.
Theater, Vic Theater, House of Blues,
They
all
stopped.
those.
Yeah.
They stopped hosting a lot of original bands. It kind of then everything changed, especially with the web and everything that comes along. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just
The one thing I want to say about the grunge thing that I think that we were all prepared for that move is that we already listened to Black Sabbath.
Right.
So we already knew how to do that in a garage when we were 14. So I think that helped us in, like what Scott was saying, is to morph into the kind of a little bit heavier thing. But I mean, I don't look at it as that we compromised at all. Mm-hmm. I think that you have to be a horse in the race, right? And so having said that, you want to make sure that you're giving your best. You want to make sure you're putting out as much as everybody else is putting out.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the irony of it all is that I think that the grunge thing, it just kind of was detuned guitars, which takes you back to the 70s.
Right.
Right. We had electronic tuners and yeah. So, but I think we were prepared for that.
Yeah. Now, would you say that your morph truly went into some type of a form of grunge, or did you stay true to yourself and just kind of change the tone a little bit? I guess.
I think for us, one of the things that we've always hooked on is melody, harmony, vocals, right? Yep. So we're not going, rah, rah, we're not none of that. You know what I mean? There's pitch and there's keys.
Right.
Luckily for Cuttlass, we have some very talented singers. So I don't know that we morphed into, I think we just kind of ripped off some guitar tones, but kind of stayed true to our philosophy.
Yeah.
Is the way I would kind of put that.
Yeah.
There's always that kind of energy. The nice thing about us being together, as long as we have and still showing as much as we do, we only go out now maybe twice a year, maybe there'll be more, just depending.
Right. Yeah.
But when we write that set list, it's all Cutlass.
Yeah.
There might be one. We'll do like we did in the day. We'll come out. We'll play one cover at the end of the night. We'll play Far Behind from Candlebox. That's what we'll play.
Nice. Yeah.
We've gone up there at Joe's Live. We've opened for Winger. Here's a crazy story. We opened for Winger maybe 3-4 times. And I can remember we opened for them at Tailgaters and we put Crying in the Rain in the set. And the lead passage in Crying in the Rain, this gentleman here, and Red Beach comes out of the dressing room and he's watching us play Crying. Rod Morgenstein is watching us play Crying in the Rain. You want to talk about pressure?
Yeah. By the way, thank God I didn't know that. I would have crumbled and I would have broken my knees, man.
We were playing at a place called Bob. What's the name of the place on Irving Park Road? Before Six Corners.
Iron Rail?
No. We were playing a bar in Chicago. And we're performing, and this tall guy walks in. With a canvas guitar case. And I'm looking at Bob, and Bob's playing, and I go, look. And he goes, freaking Billy Sheehan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Billy Sheehan.
Not Nightcaps?
Nightcaps. It was Nightcaps. Yeah. So we've shared company with a lot of these guys, and they've turned out to be for the most part, really nice people. They were, Billy Sheehan's an amazing human being.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually talked to him. He's a really nice guy. A lot of George Lynch is depending on the day. Depends on the day. Sometimes he's all in. Sometimes he's like, nah, I ain't got no time for you right now.
Right. So now you opened up for George Lynch?
Yes.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Yeah. We opened. So fast forward, we started in 86. We're rolling through House of Blues. Michael Yerke used to book the Avalon nightclub. Michael Yerke got a hold of me. He goes, I'm now the talent buyer at the House of Blues. He goes, would you guys like to open for Dokken? And I'm just like,
wow.
And this House of Blues, this was like third date in after they just opened the doors. I think Dan Aykroyd was involved at the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was Dokken original lineup. So it was Pilsen, it was George, it was all of them.
Wow.
And Nick was with us at the time. And I can remember the day of the show, he fucking called me at home. He goes, you getting ready? I go, yeah. I go, why? What's up? He goes, they're sold out. I went, really?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, they're sold out. Fucking awesome.
Of course, yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Main stage, House of Blues, opening for Dokken.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Not to mention, they treated you like somebody. It didn't matter who you were, your status. They gave you the same treatment no matter what band you were, as far as green room.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite places to play. It was House of Blues. You load up. You're underground. You're under the street, and they've got the big. They got the big elevator and stuff. And just like a crew of people come out from the House of Blues. I didn't have to touch a darn thing. They unloaded my car for me, and they even took my suitcases and my overnight bag and threw it into the green room for me. I was like, wow.
Nice, They made you feel like somebody.
Yeah.
I think that was part of Aykroyd. He demanded that.
Yeah.
You treat musicians, like something because you're trying to pay their dues.
Right.
And you fast forward to 2019, and believe it or not, the people at the Whiskey were the same damn way. They didn't help it. We played house gear there, so we didn't really have a lot of schlep. We brought guitars and cymbals. But the sound check, the guys were like, you comfortable? You feeling good? Is it good? Because you get there. That's like, for us, that's a mecca, right?
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't hit you till I'm counting 4 in, and I'm like, wait a minute. Alex Van Halen's drums were right here.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen was standing right there.
Janis Joplin. Jimi Hendrix.
Everybody.
Oh my God. It was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And
I don't mean to butt in, but we also supported King's X and Yngwie Malmsteen in
St. Louis.
St. Louis. It's called the Metal's Edge. This old bar by the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
But
is that still there?
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you, but King's X guys were just excellent human beings.
What a band.
Yngwie, on another day, I suppose.
Yeah.
He was a little eccentric.
Right.
But yeah, the King's X guys couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah. Well, we had a guest on the show who also had his band also had the opportunity to open for Yngwie, and I think he said it best. He is a genius.
Oh.
And sometimes geniuses You know, like you said, depending on the day you catch it, you know, sometimes their social graces are elsewhere because they've got something else on their mind. And that's perfectly okay because look at everything else that Yngwie's given to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, he can be an asshole every once in a while, you know? Yeah.
We've had, I mean, like I said, we've played New York a couple times. We've driven down there. We played, believe it or not, we got offered a demo deal in I don't even know what year it was, 2009. With Retrospect Records, we got invited to Rocklahoma.
Oh,
Wow.
We got down to Rocklahoma, right? First year setting up.
Yeah,
And this is when they were having it in July. So it's hot as balls in July in Oklahoma. So band, we're in the ready room tent, and the band up before us is playing, and there's storm clouds coming in, and we can see it.
It looked like the Wizard of Oz.
And what was funny is there was a farm across from Rocklahoma that had all this cattle, and the cattle was like lined up along the fence. All of a sudden I look and the cattle was all huddled together, faces to face. I'm like, why are they doing that? Well, we're in the ready room.
They knew.
Freaking tornado come, or tornado, or thunderstorms, whatever it was, high winds, took the stage down.
The stage down.
They didn't have it anchored very well, and it took the stage down. So we drove all the way down there.
Yeah.
Right before our show, we didn't get to play.
Oh, wow.
So we go back to the rooms. We're we're just going to go home tomorrow, spend the night, blah, blah, blah. We get a call in the morning. They go, what are you guys doing? I go, well, we're kind of packing up. They go, get back here. You're going to play. What?
Yeah, what?
That community went to on the same land and threw together pieces and parts of stages that had been destroyed. Put gear on those stages so the bands that traveled down there to play we got to play.
wow.
Yeah. Now, the interesting part was it rained so bad, right, in the storms and all that we literally had to take our shoes off, walk in the mud to the stage, wipe our feet off, put our shoes back on, play the show, walk back out of there and do the same thing.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah.
What city in Oklahoma is that?
That was in
Tulsa.
no, it's outside of Tulsa, but Pryor, Oklahoma.
Pryor, Oklahoma, but it's that Tulsa area over there. Yeah.
West of
Okay.
Tulsa.
And then they moved it. They do it every year now. It's run by AMG, and they do it every year now in Memorial Day time before it starts getting so hot down there because they were having people dropping from heat stroke.
Oh, sure.
Field.
Yeah.
I mean, Bobby and I are old enough to remember being at Kaminsky Park watching.
He said it right.
Ted Nugent, Hart, Journey, Beck Bogart, and a piece, and it was so hot.
There was the Grand Slam Jam.
Right, I remember that.
And
Yep.
Aerosmith was there.
Yep.
Also.
And some jerk off was throwing fireworks on top of the roof at the grandstand, set the roof on fire. People were scrambling out of the grandstands. It was so hot in the infield or the baseball field that the fire department was blowing water over the side of the stadium to wet the people in the field to stop them getting heat stroke.
Wow.
And I was trampled. I was trampled underfoot up in the grandstands. People panicked.
They panicked
And
because of the fire.
I didn't know what was going on. Like a couple beers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got footprints on
Yeah.
Jesus.
And that season is coming. We pretty much don't play any indoor gigs again until like late September or whatever. And man, those summer months when it's 95 degrees and 95% humidity and
you don't take that into consideration until you start running through your summer and you start looking at your time slot.
Yep.
As opposed to where's the sun going to be during that time slot?
Right.
Exactly.
Is there a roof?
We go
and is it coming down this way? Because when you're half an hour in and the sun is beating on your back or on your face and there's no wind, you remember that shit.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah. Yeah, you sure.
Well, I think it's about time to heat things up a little bit and get our song in.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd love to do
Hopefully more than one.
Well, I'm sure more than one, but one at a time.
Well, they've been around since 1986. They got to have more than one song.
We have 30 seconds of music and we did a lot more talking and we didn't play it.
That's all right. All righty. We'll be right back.
All righty.
Okay.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Anthony. I'd like to thank my radio brothers, Ray the Roadie and Hollywood Mike, for allowing me to tell you about my podcast, the Someone You Should Know podcast. We spotlight musicians, authors, and interesting people, and we like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. The podcast is heard twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and you can check it out on your favorite streaming platforms and on the web at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast.com. That's the Someone You Should Know podcast with me, Rick Anthony. making a difference one artist at a time.
I'm Christy from Crime Cave Podcast. I've had a huge interest in true crime since my days of watching marathons of Snapped back in the mid-90s. I needed an outlet to talk about the cases that have haunted me for a very long time. With each episode under 20 minutes, I shine a light on some of the most bizarre cases in the last 50 years. Join me in the Crime Cave.
And now for the first time tonight, Cuttlass.
Can you shine your light his way? Heaven, can you hear me? Can you help to raise this
Very nice.
Man, let me tell you, I am not bullshitting you. I have heard that song before somewhere.
You have?
Yeah, it sounds so familiar to me.
It sounded familiar to me,
it's
too.
like there was a bunch of, there was like, as you were singing, there was a bunch of words. It's like, okay, I know what's coming next.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I was like, oh, memory bank. Don't screw the lyrics up.
When was that written?
Oh, my.
That was when you were living with me,
Yeah.
and that little kid fell off the projects. That's about a kid. that fell out the window at the Robert Taylor home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we our singer was out of town.
Okay.
So we were just kind of messing around with stuff, right? And I sang it, and then when he came back, he was like, "Why don't you sing it?
Just sing it." Yeah.
And that kind of became a thing, a really cool thing for this band.
Oh, yeah.
is that there's other songs that I sing like back in the day that we can, it's not one dimensional.
Right.
And
Right.
when we had Nick Cox from Seventh Heaven in the band, he sings some songs, so it's been
Yeah.
kind of like that.
What I wanted to add is when we write, or I write, I come up with an idea. We look at it as like a hot dog, and one guy does this, ketchup, mustard, and then you got your song kind of thing. But having said that, if I write, there's sometimes I go, this fits his voice better than it would him, and I write around him, or I'll write around the other guy.
Right.
I mean, I don't do the singing, but you get that painting in your mind, and you got your easel, and you're like, okay, that's for him.
Yeah. You're hearing the voice.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
he's got that raspier, deeper, soulful feel.
How long have you been hearing this voice? Have you got any help?
Oh God.
Oh no, his voices never get better.
No, but I lived with him, so
Yeah, whatever.
And that's how they came up with the name Cuttlass.
Hey, listen.
Exactly.
I stopped him from shooting a dog. So
So you could have been called Shooting the Dog.
yeah,
true story.
that's our new album.
Oh, that's a true story. Stopped you from shooting a dog.
No, it's
I don't know if we should even go there. I don't want to.
We're already on a fine line with Cuttlass.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need Pete on our ass.
Yeah, that's right. No kidding. So, but there is one important question.
Yeah.
Because of the car or the sword?
Okay.
Or you two living together.
Actually, it's a bottom line. It's a real quick story, and that is I didn't have a key to our rehearsal room.
Okay.
So while these guys were, I'm waiting on these guys. Of course, see, when you book practice, you tell them 8 when you really mean 7, so they'll get there at 8, right?
Right.
So I'm sitting out there, and then we at the time we were called Tundra. Okay. And this 442 Cutlass came up, and it was at the light, and it was doing that like
Potato. Yeah.
and it reminded me like a bottom lick, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
Like
I
the
was
beginning of Hot for Teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
I was like, man, Cutlass, Cutlass, right? So I told them, I was like, they're gonna hate it,
Yeah.
And it stuck. And then we also got great free advertisement because over the years we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have all this other stuff, right?
Right.
So people would be like, Oldsmobile, Cuttlass, and I'm thinking people at home drinking a beer, going, I wonder what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it started from the car, but then when we took it over, we kind of made the T's into like the logo on his shirt. We kind of made them into short curved swords.
Sure. Okay.
With
Yeah. Right.
The
Right.
Cutlass. Right.
Perfect.
So both. So it's both.
Yeah. But none of you have a cutlass on your arm. I see tattoos, but no cutlass tattoos.
I don't have any tattoos.
He's only got one, but it's like in a private
We
area.
can't see.
When I lived with him, he showed
It says Cuttlass.
No,
You guess where?
no. It says Joe's Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
And when it gets hard, it says Joe's Bar and Grill, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah.
not in cold water, but
I've been telling that joke for years, and the way I originally heard it, it says choke. But when I have an erection, it says Chucky's Bar and Grill, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
So since 86 or whatever, how many songs you guys got?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So we have first release was a 6-song cassette. Second release was a 6-song cassette.
Cassette,
Yeah.
cassette, man.
Yeah.
Third release was Kiss Your Sass. How many songs on Kiss Your Sass?
I believe there were 8.
Third release was an 8-song cassette CD. Fourth release was no explanation necessary full-length CD. And that was the last official release. And then Retrospect Records released kind of like a compilation CD, a montage.
Right. Yeah.
And then the stuff that we are releasing now was written in the 90s that we never released, and we're putting them out one at a time. And we have a new one in the can called Trash Talk, which we're finishing the final. We've been working on that damn thing forever, but as we get older, our tastes get more refined. So we keep hearing things in the mix that need adjusting that make us comfortable, because we kind of do it that way. We kind of rule by committee. If everybody gives it the thumbs up, then it flies. If one guy's got an issue, we either talk about it or we get it fixed. So Trash Talk, I hope to release by maybe 30 days, and that'll be brand new. So we have a lot of music.
There's so much unreleased stuff that we did, and mostly kind of a 3-piece like writing stuff that we're just kind of now rediscovering. And the cool part is that it's at least to me, and I'm the inside looking out, but still seems relevant.
Mm-hmm,
you know,
where'd you guys grow up?
Chicago.
You're Chicago proper, not suburbs.
North side.
North side. Okay. North.
Cubs.
Yeah, north side down the street from the Jewels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These two guys.
That's right. I just went to Jewels to get some milk.
These two guys.
Milk.
These guys have been together forever. They went to school together.
Grammar school.
They did like Bastille Day and all sorts of crazy shows. I happened to be with a singer that I was friends with and went to school with, and he introduced me to them. And then it just went from there. I mean, it was kind of a really cool fix too, because they were doing Rush and Sabbath and some of these things, and myself and the singer were doing more like hair bands, and then you combine the two, and it was a pretty cool little, mashup, if you will.
Yeah. He and I hit it off writing.
Yeah, right away.
Mm-hmm. It's the thought process, the whole 9 yards for writing and stuff.
I mean, but it also, it's one of those things too, for both of us, that it's like we're so ADD, we can't even be together in the same room, because our head
aren't we all? Yeah.
Our head hurts from all the ideas. Like, we're like, oh, wait, I got this, but no, wait, what if
let's finish this one. Yeah. Let's finish this thought first.
No, you can't. How many unfinished songs do we have? Honestly, I go through my phone on the little things that we record when we just get together with us three. There's probably 10 things, and they're not finished.
Right.
And they're all really good. And I was like, I'm just hoping that we can eventually start picking away at those things. But in the meantime, like Scott was saying, we have a bunch of unreleased music that's already recorded that we want to put out.
Right.
And you also have the cell phone, which when I was driving the semi, I'm a teamster,
Of course, from the north side,
No, but I get a rhythm going, and I'm going to forget this. So I'm driving something.
Which, if you look at that nowadays, that is possible. In the old days, you needed to find a cassette player that had batteries left.
That's right.
And hope to try to get that across.
Listen, I'll do one better. Miles apart, I had the rhythm, and I called my answering machine.
Yeah. I used to do that all. I used to do that all the time,
dude. When you get home, you gotta do this.
Yeah, but first you have to pull over and find a payphone.
Yeah, right.
And find a dime.
It took me 20 minutes, but I assembled my bag phone.
Yeah.
So is this your music available to people anywhere or purchase or?
Well, it's available to listen on YouTube. It's available to listen on Reverb Nation, and it's available to listen on Facebook. As far as selling it goes, we haven't really put up anything to iTunes or Apple Pay or any of that. We just feel like so much of that gets pirated anyways. Mm-hmm. It's hard, So what we try to do is get it on the platform. On the platforms, that's the thing that's changed for us since we started.
Yeah,
now people can just go to it. Would we stream it? Sure, we would. We just haven't evolved that way. We're just, some of us are, I don't know, man. We're just not we just have so much to release that I don't even know how to slay that dragon.
I think what Scott's trying to say is we're all still trying to fix that blinking 12 on our VCR.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
I think that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, but you're right. Sometimes it's not even worth the effort. I've had songs on all of those platforms before. I've had like 10,000 downloads, and they send me a check for 30 cents.
Oh yeah.
It's not, it's not even worth. I mean, you're going to waste more gas. Well, you don't have to drive to the bank anymore.
Right.
But at the time, I'd waste more money in gas to drive to the bank to cash that check. It really is ridiculous.
Streaming fees are terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
They are terrible. And even as far as the posts I've been seeing on the deals that Live Nation has been giving the live entertainment themselves, it's all Live Nation's game.
Yeah.
They call the shots. You know
Right.
what I mean? All you got to do is look at some of that. So, I mean, it's really hard. In the old days, you wanted to sell your music to make money. You wanted to make new music to sell the music and play concerts. Now you got to perform. You just got to perform.
You absolutely have to.
You got to play live.
And
Otherwise-
there's another avenue that I've actually been investigating lately. There's so many independent recording, studios around here. Just unknown people, right? Do a search, find one. Find somebody that just maybe they've got a studio in their basement and they're going to charge you like $25 an hour, and the guy's pretty decent, right? And then have some CDs printed. Just get a box of them. I don't know, whatever it's going to cost you, and put them up on your website and say, hey, you want to help out a local band? You really want to buy one? We'll send
Great
it to
idea.
you. We'll sign a picture and everything. Because now you're getting
direct to you.
Hey, the money is going direct to you. Even if you're just breaking even on it, it's not going to somebody else. And then you're giving recognition to some independent, producer somewhere that's trying to build his business. You can help each other out.
But let me ask you this now. Like I heard advertisements for the last Winger album and the new Bon Jovi album. I think they released it in all three formats: cassette, CD, and vinyl.
And
vinyl's big.
Vinyl's huge nowadays.
It is. I heard it. Walmart was saying that vinyl has actually outsold CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of places even quit selling CDs.
So-
Best Buy got rid of it years ago.
So if you're going to go do that on your own website, what do you try to sell? What format?
I do it in vinyl. And I think the reason for that is, if you think about it, what do you need to play a CD? You need a CD player, right? And then you got to plug that CD player into some type of an amplifier, right? Well, if you need a device to play something that gets plugged into another device, you might as well just use your fucking phone.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because you can do the same thing with the phone.
Yeah.
But it's this nostalgia thing, to have a turntable and have a vinyl record and call it a record again,
I read an article where Jimmy Page, there's a picture of Jimmy Page at the record store, and he says, I never stopped buying vinyl because when you drop the needle on a vinyl record, you never get the same bottom end off of any other product than a vinyl record.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
We can all remember the days of the WXRT Artist of the Month card, that kind of stuff. Right. WLS, they had the list, playlists. But they would, like Jethro Tull, they would say, we're coming out with an album. It would come out at a certain date. You go to Flipside, get your album. You get your, you'd go to the Flipside, get your tickets, and all of a sudden you'd open up that album. And it was a mystique to it. You'd read what they had going on. It was like, it was a beautiful thing. Now,
we talk about that all the time. Listening parties with your buddies, right? One guy goes out and buys the album, and then you all hang around in his bedroom, laying on the floor, and you listen to everything, and you pass around the album cover. And
then you got some of the artists that the sleeves were even part of the story. They put the sleeves.
Oh yeah. It was, you had to hire an artist and everything to do that stuff for you, and a shitty album cover.
There's a shitty album cover. There's a band that I work with, M&R Rush. Right. They just came out with an EP and did it on vinyl. Yeah. Sold over 1,000 copies already.
Really?
Was it expensive to produce? Do you know?
Well, they hooked up with a recording company out in Colorado. So it just wasn't super expensive, but it costs something.
Right. Well, no, I get that. Well, I get that.
The interesting fact on the vinyl thing, and this is coming pretty much full circle, this conversation, is that we have not done vinyl.
Yeah.
And to put out a new thing on vinyl would be something pretty special.
That would be very special.
It is coming back. There are bars. I travel a little bit for business. I've yet to find one in the Chicagoland area, but I'll tell you what's really big around the Midwest now is you go into these bars and they're kind of like these nostalgic bars. There's one in Columbus, Ohio that I like to go to called Hudson's, and you walk in this place and it's like Route 66 in the 1960s. That's the decor in
cool.
here. There's no jukebox. There's no nothing, but behind the bar, the bartender has access to this giant shelf of just vinyl records.
Oh my.
And there's a turntable behind the bar, and they've got, a menu of what they have on vinyl.
Oh, come on.
And they put on a record. And everybody has their chance to go up there and put this record on for me. I mean, that's literally the way they're providing.
That is cool.
In the place,
we should open a place like that.
That sounds like a fantastic idea, doesn't it? But I'll tell you, I did an experiment myself. I was it was about 1989 or so. Some people, if you had a lot of money, you were shifting over toward a CD player, because they were still like $400, and that was a lot of money in 1989. So I had my vinyl collection, and then I had my favorites. And since I went out and I bought a CD player, I wanted to get CDs of my favorite records, because I figured eventually these things are going to get scratched, and you got to have the CDs now. That was the thing, right? The quality's great. They're never going to scratch it. They're going to sound fantastic. The first two CDs that I bought was Tesla's Edison's Medicine album and Empire, Queen.
Oh, monumental records, both.
Yes. And so I played the record, the vinyl record, right, of Tesla, because they're my favorite band to this day, right? And then I turned that off and I put the CD on. And I could tell the difference immediately. I mean, the difference in the warmth and the bass and the mid range. I didn't mind the. I didn't mind the crackles.
Little caveat on Tesla. So Tesla is very special to us. Really special. Like so special. Like we would go see Tesla play the Vic at the Aragon. I would cry like a baby because I was just rooting for him. Yeah. Fast forward 4 years ago, we opened for him at Bands in the Sand at Side Outs right after COVID. Yeah.
Wow.
That was crazy times.
Good for you. Holy shit.
Dude, that was.
And you know what?
That's freaking awesome.
These guys, I mean, they didn't miss a beat. And they had a back screen so like Modern Day Cowboy, you had horses and like videos or whatever. But the coolest thing was that our other guitar player, Eric, is a guitar connoisseur, right?
Yeah.
Flying V's and Gibsons. And sure enough, man, this guy just took them and was showing them all.
Frankie Hanna came out and saw, what is yours? Let me show you mine.
No, Frankie Hanna.
Just cool guys all the way around.
Frankie Hanna is so cool. Probably he deserves way more credit than he gets.
Absolutely.
He really does. Frankie Hanna is wonderful. When the first guitar that I ever bought for myself, I bought it because Frankie Hanna had one that looked like it. It was a hot pink Washburn with an EMG humbucker and one knob.
There you go. That was like his White Charvel was like that, wasn't it? Your White Charvel.
One pickup. It was like one pickup, no knob, just one knob, off and on.
Right. Yeah, that was all it was. That's all it was. Yeah, but I absolutely love Tesla. We could talk about them all day long, but that was a great experiment. So what is the website? How can people find you?
www.cutlass.net is the website.
Right.
Facebook is Cuttlass, Cuttla. That's
Band Chicago.
Yeah, Cuttlass Band Chicago.
Cuttlass Band Chicago. Yeah.
And then on YouTube, you just got to search. You got to search the band. You're going to have to be patient because it crosses with the car.
Okay. Right? Yeah.
Sure. We spell it different than they do because we add a few letters, but it crosses into
the.
So
sure.
That's how you find us.
You guys got anything on the calendar for like October, November? The end of this year.
The next show we have is Friday, August 2nd at Sundance Saloon in Mundelein with another huge local band called Paradox.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so we co-bill with them. And
we were at that show, weren't we?
We were at that show.
They rocked that show.
Man, that rocked it. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys have coming up in October?
All the way back in August.
What do we got in October?
I got nothing in October right now.
Nothing right now.
All right.
Okay. So everybody's going to have to check your website, Facebook page, whatever.
Yeah.
See where you're playing.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All righty, guys. Thanks for coming out. This was a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us.
Great song. Great music, guys.
It was an honor to
Pleasure
be here.
meeting you guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure of ours.
So there you have it. Cutlass. I mean, Cuttlass.
That was Cuttlass.
That was Cuttlass.
You know, I'm surprised I haven't heard more of them, but I swear I heard that song someplace.
It
before.
sounded familiar to me too. I don't know.
And then, you know, and of course, after the cameras and we stopped recording and the whole bit, we were out there. You know,
right.
They were buying T-shirts and everything to find out that, you know, two of us like grew up in the same area.
Right. Oh yeah. I heard you guys talking about that.
Yeah. So there's got to be some kind of connection.
Some sort of connection.
I know I've seen him someplace because I forgot what his name was. The guy who was singing, that was I don't have my seating chart in front of me anymore. But when he told me the story about how his day job, he's actually a baker where they make these gourmet dog treats.
Right.
I knew I met him somewhere before, and I had that conversation with him.
That's what you said.
Now I need to figure out where it was that we met before now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. But anyways, it was great.
Yeah. Well, that was great talking to them. And as usual, thanks for listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. And check us out every Tuesday for another exciting episode. See ya. Hey, it's Ray and Mike, and we got some great information for you.
Yeah, we just wanted to remind you about the fundraiser for the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, which is taking place on October 27th at the Renaissance Center in downtown Joliet.
You'll be able to get tickets at Cadillac Groove shows. If you see Mike or myself somewhere, we'll have tickets. You can get them at the museum. They're only $5.
Also at CadillacGroove.com, you will be able to purchase them online as well.
Very good.
They're going to cost you $5 a ticket. There's going to be a $10 cover charge to get in the day of the event. And for your $10, we will give you 2 more additional tickets as well as some Cadillac Groove swag. And the lucky grand prize winner will win the band Cadillac Groove.
And winner must be present to win. So remember that.
And Cadillac Groove will play for whatever event it is that you would like for us to play for. You know, conditions do apply.
That's true.
We do.
So get out there and get your tickets right away. Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. If you've been enjoying our weekly program, we have great news for you. Just tune in to Road to Rock Radio on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, and you can hear a rebroadcast of one of our past episodes. Then again on Thursdays at 7 p.m., you can hear our most current episode brought to you by the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
So go to roadtorock.org, scroll down, and click on radio station. That'll bring you to the Road to Rock Radio, a station committed entirely to the great music from Illinois, from Chicago blues born on Maxwell Street to today's rock and roll and everything in between. 24/7, all music with its roots in Illinois.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Chicago.